Welcome to Real Estate Insight, here to empower and educate you in all facets of real estate. I'm your host, Isaiah Valdez. For today's hot topic, we will be discussing 3D printed homes. Joining us today will be Dorothy Dawn and Steve Kazel to give their opinion on this 3D printed housing trend. The first listing of a 3D printed home was posted in February of 2021. Since then, plans for 3D printed communities have been established in California and Texas. According to Mighty Buildings, a company that produces 3D printed homes, their homes are cheaper to build, more sustainable, more efficient, and resilient to most weather conditions. At this point, the demand is heavily outweighing the supply. So just to provide our viewers with a little more information, could you please tell us more about this rising trend? Steve, we'll start with you.
You know, I believe in 2016 in Europe, they started printing homes before anybody even knew what a 3D printer was. So they printed a tiny home out there as an experiment, and they printed, I think, a few hundred of them. So these printers are actually started by making little gadgets. And before, you used to have to make a die mold and a cast mold to make a piece of plastic. Now, just like a copy machine would copy something, they plug in the information, and then they just simply print. And they put the material into this printer, and it actually prints the 3D shape of different types of plastic. Seem to be the easiest thing to do. They're starting to do it with cement now apparently as well, and that's where the homes come into play. So between cement and these polymer plastics, they make a home. So like similar to a modular home, they take this gigantic printer, and it's a 3D printer, and when they do it, they actually put these printers on location. So they have to be resilient to the weather. They have to be able to be a pretty rugged type of robust machinery, and those machines are typically run by robots. So the robots are computer programmed to print certain walls. So a wall with certain windows comes in, and then they'll print the kitchen, and then they'll print the bathrooms, and they actually print it on site. They can do it in less than a couple of days. So typically a home would take about a year to build from start to finish. These homes are done in a couple of weeks, 2 days of printing, they put them together. They do use wood framing on the inside of most of the ones that I've seen, and some of the roof materials are also made out of wood. So with that said, they use products that you would be surprised. They use some biodegradable, a lot of them, so that they can decompose out in places like Antarctica. When they print a home out there, they want to just leave it. They don't want to take it with them. They'll just biodegrade. Some of them in Australia are using hemp to make homes. So you'd be surprised what types of materials the ingenuity has come up with. Tesla has a new truck. The dashboard is made out of paper. It looks like marble. So when you look at these homes, you think, wow, is that a big piece of plastic? Not necessarily. There's a lot of different things that are going into these homes.
Very interesting. And so I hear that it's time efficient, obviously, but also waste efficient. I heard that 99% less waste with these types of homes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the computers are programmed to cut exact corners. And so instead of having this big piece of plastic with a bunch of wasted plastic, it actually cuts it right to order, and there's very little waste. Labor is a big concern. Like people are saying, well, what are all the laborers going to do? Well, they're in Rancho Mirage building a whole neighborhood. So someone's still got to make the foundation. Someone's still got to put them together. So there's some labor. It's probably going to cut the labor less than half. However, they're talking about like a 60% cut in labor.
Well, I love the idea of it being more environmentally friendly. And I have seen some of these homes and some of these concepts for these homes. And I got to say, they're beautiful. I wouldn't mind living in one myself. Do you believe that this phenomenon could surpass conventionally built homes sometime in the near future?
I think depends on where you are. So I see this becoming quite the trend in hipster cities like Seattle, Nashville, Austin, and that's where they started, in Austin. So I can see that, but I'm not so sure about the hoity-toity areas, if they are going to catch on to this. What do you think?
You know, Palm Springs would be a great place for that, where it's real flat, there's a lot of sand, and they make these homes, you'd be surprised, they have different models. I know that the models I was looking at, you have several different options, typically a 2 to 3 bedroom home, and not more than 3 bedrooms from what I've seen. And they also build ones with just a garage and a home on top of it. So they'll actually make a home, the entire home is over the garage. So they've gotten creative, and they're actually quite pleasant to look at. You can pick different models, different colors, and it looks like a stick-built home, a lot of them.
What about zoning and permitting and the coastal guard? What do you guys think about that? I mean, I can't see this going in some of the planned communities I know about.
I don't know, man. Some of them are pretty contemporary. The ones I saw, it would be like a typical La Jolla, built in 2020, look to it, 2021 now. They do look very modern. So I haven't seen the log cabin look. I know they are making log cabin looking homes as well.
As an investor, you might want to start looking into where you can actually build these 3D printed communities. I think it'd be a great investment opportunity since the demand is heavily outweighing the supply. That's it for us today, 3D printed homes. Stay tuned for the near future on more updates on zoning and regulations and different styles of these homes. Thank you for watching Real Estate Insight. We'll see you next time.